What's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make an Ohio type beat for MG Sleepy, LilTae, and anybody in TSE. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe, and share this with anybody who would like to see this. Let's get right into this tutorial. Okay, so I previously had this sample in here, and basically all what you want to do with samples is find a certain point in the sample. I think this is the point right here, and hold Alt and press left click and click at that point and chop it. And then you want to find like a 4-bar or a 2-bar or even a 1-bar point that you want to chop it at to end the sample. So right here is where I want to chop this at. So I'm going to get the chopper tool again, hold Alt, press left click, and we're just going to delete that part of it. So now we should have a sample that loops back. There is a little clicking noise right here. We're just gonna make sure we're not on stretch, which is this right here, and we're going to drag that back one, and now it should loop back normal. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to drag this in either 4 bars or 8 bars, depending on if you work in halftime or full time. I work in halftime, so in this case, you turn stretch on, hold Alt, and drag this back to the 5. So there we have that sample, and I already previously chopped this, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to save it again. What I'm going to do also is put this on stretch mode so the normal tone of the sample is back. So now what I'm going to do is press Control R, and it's going to say, do you want to save this to a WAV, MP3, or anything? What I'm going to do is I'm going to, I already saved it as this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save and just overwrite it just for the sake of this, and make sure split mixer tracks is off and make sure everything else is on. And just press start. And now load into, you could load into a new project if you want to, but basically now you'll have this sample and it'll be stretched accordingly. You can knock off this little tail end by holding shift and pressing right click with the chopper. So now we have that fitting, but what we want to do is we want to throw this into Fruity Slicer. So we're going to go in here, we're going to go to the channel rack, press the plus, and go to Fruity Slicer. We're going to go click on this right here, the second one, and click load sample, and we're going to load our sample in there. And then we're going to go to the chopper, press beat, and we're going to drag the decay down, the attack a little bit up, and the length a little bit up right here. We could also adjust the pitch too. Make sure we're on pattern. Drag it up 100 cents. So now these beats right here is what your sample is going to be on. Now each beat won't drag on after about 4 boxes if you're on step. So basically you just want to play around. These Ohio beats generally have like really choppy samples, so I'm gonna try to create something like that. You kind of just got to hear it out with each section of the sample. So That sounds good already. We're gonna do Control B 3 times to paste this over. I'm gonna get a shorter spins. I'm gonna get my 808. You could also find this in my signature kit right here. It's on my BeatStars. I'll probably leave a link to that in the description. And with this 808, what you want to do is, what I recommend is putting it in a very high octave so you could tell what note it is. And all you got to do is you could use shift and down arrow just to play with the semitones, down and up arrow, and you could just see what key it's on. So I'll just, let's say we start here. Sounds like it's on E. Definitely on E. So now we could just create a 808 pattern. I'm gonna create something very minimal for this first pattern, so I'm just gonna do 2 of these right here. And I'm gonna hold right click from the 2, drag to the 1, and then do Control B 3 times. I'm gonna drag in a clap. I'm gonna get this crispy one. Whoops, my fault. Make sure you always have cut itself on when you drag in drums as well. And I'm just gonna put this on the 2 and the 4. Actually, I'm not gonna do the 2 and 4. I'm gonna move this 2 over to create a little bit more bounce. I added my hi-hat. And with these hi-hats, you kind of want to make them a little bit bouncy. So kind of just find out, like, feel out a bounce that you could put down. I like that. Now what we're going to do is these hi-hats are kind of like high-pitched. So we're going to press Control and press up arrow to put it up an octave, and then hold Shift and go up and down with my arrow keys just to see what kind of note it sounds good at. That sounds good. Now we're going to right click from the 2 to the 1 to highlight this, and then do Control B 3 times. I'm going to add in an OpenHat. I'm going to turn this down because it's kind of loud. Now with these Ohio beats, they have like a lot of chants in them. I'm going to add in this Hi Zay chant. I am going to release this Michigan Baby Volume 2 kit soon, so you guys will have access to that. I added my hit too. You can find the same hit in my signature kit. This hit I actually made myself. Basically, this hit kind of slides. It don't hit directly on like it don't hit directly on like when the sound plays, so I'm gonna place it 1 box before where I actually want it to hit at. I add like a bongo, I believe. I'm gonna get this Metro bongo. Just place Percs wherever you feel needed. Now this first pattern sounding pretty good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna left click on this pattern, do then right click and then do clone, and we're gonna mess with the sample a little bit. I think I'm gonna move these two. I like the start of this down here, but I might move the sample chops a little bit up just to see what kind of sounds good. Now with this 808 pattern, this is where like I kind of see a difference between the Michigan sound and the Ohio sound. They kind of do this like weird kind of 808 bounce. It's kind of different, but it's just what I hear in the songs. What I normally hear in the songs is basically I'm going to highlight this and do alt scroll wheel to bring this up. Basically what they do is they do a kind of like a weird 808 bounce where it's kind of like not like bouncy, it kind of like hits like really like rapidly. It's hard to explain, but I'll just play it. I just kind of had to feel out, like hear out where these were too, but that's basically the bounce right there. Actually, I like that a lot better. What I just did right there was held control and left clicked, and then I did control and X to delete. But I left these over here, and then I'm gonna do right click from the 2 to the 1 again, and do control B 3 times. Alright, that's all I want to change in that pattern. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double left click on any of these rectangles and go to the mixer. Make sure you got a soft clipper on your master, and then go to insert 1 and then do channel routing and do route selected channel starting from this track. Then you're going to want to hold control and left click to highlight all these and just level them all the way down. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to level these relative to each other so they all sit nicely in the mix. I'm gonna level my 808 now. What I'm gonna do with this 808 is merge it to make it mono so it sits in the middle of the mix. You could do that by taking this knob and dragging it all the way to the purple, and you'll see it in the top left, and it says stereo separation 100% merged. That means it's not wide, it means it's straight down the middle. I'm gonna take a little bit of low end out of the sample by clicking on the sample, going to slot 1 and doing fruity parametric EQ2, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of low end out. My preset is the same thing as the 40 hertz cut right here, so you could use that. Now it's time for the arrangement. What we're gonna do is right click on one of these patterns, do split by channel, and you're gonna right click on the second one and do split by channel. You're gonna take everything in the first pattern, drag it on. What I just did to drag that on, you're gonna take everything in this pattern and drag it on. So you hold shift, press on the first thing that was in the pattern, and press on the last thing that was in the pattern, and then you're gonna drag this on, and you're gonna do the same thing for the bottom one. Now you have both patterns in here split. So now what we're going to do is we're basically going to do control left click to highlight this and do control B a bunch of times, and we're just going to take in and out stuff that we don't want in there. These beats normally start out fast, like straight away with the drums, so I'm just going to drag this 808 back to the 3. This little not 4 bar, but 16 bar period is really all you need. These beats that they hop on usually don't follow like any hook, so you could just get a 16 bar period right like this and just paste it over 3 times to create 3 verses, or however many verses you want to create. And then all you gotta do now is just throw in your tag. I'm just gonna throw in my tag at the very start. I'm gonna left click on my tag, go to the mixer, then right click on a open track, do channel routing, and then do route selected channels to this track. I'm just gonna level down my tag.
Donnie made this. Donnie made this.
And here is the final beat.
Donnie made this.